everybody think we want to talk about relationships.
Oh yeah.
Everybody always went, let's talk about
a popular
relationship.
topic, bro. Everybody
It's a popular topic, I guess, because everybody out here struggling.
You know what it is?
What?
It's because everybody going in and out of them.
Calm down, JJ. We ain't ready for that conversation.
Oh, my bad.
So before we started, we were talking about the list. You know, everybody kind of got a list, right?
Right.
Like the things that you want, and we were laughing because JJ, what did you say was on your list?
I only got 2 things on mine.
What's on your list?
A baddie who loved God.
But I feel like if you were to ask a woman what was on her list, they would have like a whole page of things. Unpopular
Pages, plural.
pages, a whole journal.
Right.
But I would argue, and y'all ain't ready for this conversation, I would argue that when the rubber meets the road, people would rather give up character things if you looked good.
Definitely.
No, but they would never say that in public. Nobody would ever admit to that. Nobody would ever say, because the idea is, what if God is giving you everything you want and need, but it didn't come in the packaging that you wanted?
Physically.
Yeah. Does that make it any less of a great gift?
Big things come in small packs.
But I believe that, bro. I believe that. A lot of y'all ain't received y'all blessings because they ugly. You know what?
You know, they be like, the packaging ain't worth nothing. It's the gift that's worth
It's the gift.
But what if the wrapping is expensive?
And ain't nothing inside. Ain't nothing inside. See, that's what's wrong with y'all.
Y'all are deep.
That's what's wrong with y'all. Hey, ma'am, you only single because you ain't came to the fact that your husband gonna be short.
You infatuated with expensive wrapping. And empty presents.
Right. That's okay though. Sometimes you just got to give people an empty box that's wrapped nice. Eventually, that box ain't gonna be able to do for you what that gift could.
Come on. We're gonna start a masterclass on how to choose packages.
And I know some of the women, y'all minds went in the wrong direction. We ain't talking about that. Start the pod.
We back.
And we back.
This is the Soundboard Podcast.
Oh, heavy tongue, boy.
I know somebody that like it though.
Whoa. Her face says otherwise. I'm looking at her face and she don't seem amused. So maybe you need to go check your reference.
Anyways, this is the Soundboard Podcast, and this is Coop.
This your boy Dante.
What's up with it? It's your boy JJ.
We are back, episode 16, and we by ourselves.
All by myself.
We back to the norm. We back to the normal. We got 2 women on here. Y'all start getting too comfortable. The fellas start talking about who is Drew, who is Shawnee.
Yeah.
And then the ladies like, I'm so glad somebody's speaking for us. Yes, sis.
And
it's just us.
And don't act like JJ wasn't on here acting different.
So y'all know
was acting different.
Right. So you know, after the episode, our biggest fear was that people would think that we were simping.
Yeah.
How JJ
That
was
boy
acting
turned into
different.
certified lover Jay.
Well, you know, I wholeheartedly I want to hear from Drew.
I want to know
from
I want to know you on a deeper level. I'm not like these other guys.
So I really did think we
y'all
were.
just need to level
Is
up.
everything good at home, Dante?
Why would things?
You know, when you're around women and you having fun, you got your woman.
you was laughing a lot.
JJ, the bike rides are still on, or they canceled the bike
rides
rides?
is good. Bike rides is good.
Okay.
Look,
Okay.
are you good?
I'm good. You know what I mean? There's some questions that had to be answered. Keep talking about turning to Dave Chappelle on the mic.
Coop low key is that homeboy. Don't you hate Don't you hate when you bring a young lady around and all of a sudden all your homeboys, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle,
Turn into
comedians.
Be like, that man ain't like that.
Not
You
even
really
like
ain't
that.
Yeah, you really ain't that guy. So we're back, guys. Episode 16. So fellas, I want to know what has been going on with y'all.
All I've been doing is getting ready for New Year's because I think that's the next time I'm going to be out.
New Year's?
Yes.
Like
New Year's Eve.
like 11 weeks from now?
Right,
Yes.
2022.
No, like the eve of 2022.
So why? So what are you gonna be doing? Do you
So
have plans?
I'm not eating out.
Are you trying to get fit?
I'm trying to get fit.
Trying to get that
I'm be
figure right.
I'm trying to be shredded.
Don't people usually gain weight in the wintertime and then shred
You know what?
for the summer?
What's interesting? I've always been opposite. I
So
don't know
you
why.
lose weight in the winter?
And I gain weight in the summer because I'm having so much fun.
That's alcohol. That's alcohol weight, cool.
Alcohol eating out.
And eating out.
And nobody can even see all the gains I've made in the winter because I got all these clothes.
Boys in sweater turtlenecks.
Layered up.
So what made you come to the conclusion like I need to chill out?
Because I was doing really good through the whole pregnancy about staying fit. And then all this other stuff happened like with the hospitalization and stuff like that. So now it's like I started stress eating and stuff like that. So now I'm like, okay, I gained some weight. So now like New Year's Eve, I need to be on point. That's gonna be my reintroduction to the world and to the streets.
Welcome back.
You plan on being
Welcome
somewhere
back.
warm, like on a beach somewhere?
Not necessarily, but the fit can be snug.
Just okay. Just
That
as long
boy
as
about
it's
to buy all his clothes one size too small, so it could fit. But you know what? I think it's funny that you say that, bro. Because I'm gonna be honest, I be looking at Key, and Key don't even look like she had a whole baby.
Oh, metabolism. Is
Like Key don't even like she had a whole baby, and the last thing you want to be is the pudgy dad.
The- I'm the only one. I said we're supposed to be fat together.
The last thing you want to be, because Key
I
done.
thought we were gonna do it together. She
People
just had the
looking at y'all
baby.
confused. Like,
Yeah.
which one of y'all had the baby?
yeah.
Dick Coop, how far along are you? Are you
Well, we
7
were
months?
pregnant, so
No, that's dope though, bro. So you're not eating out. You buying everything is coming from the crib.
yes, and I think that's the key because like even if I don't eat the healthiest at home, as long as I cook it in the house, the weight usually drops off of me.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm 31 now, so we'll see.
Coop gonna be the same weight on December 31st.
Sad.
He gonna be done gained 5 pounds.
You're going to have to take all the clothes back.
You know what though, Coop? Wear them, tighten off.
That's what I'm gonna do. Whatever I buy, that's what I'm gonna wear.
They gonna be like, girl, it look like Coop thighs. Can't breathe. in them pants. Coop looking a little thin.
Right.
Coop normally be dancing. He ain't going to be dancing.
I'll be sitting down.
That's what button go pop. Put somebody eye out.
It doesn't really matter because you just need to pick. So as long as I can
That
suck
is
in
true.
for the picture, it's okay.
No, and that's what makes me so upset. Let me just tell y'all somewhere. If we ever go somewhere, don't get the pictures in the front end.
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
been trying to take pictures in the back end.
When I'm
I done
all drunk.
I done stuffed my face and my belly big now. Yeah. Like, you need to get pictures in the beginning. It's highly disrespectful to try to get pictures
when
at
it
the
wasn't
end.
as big.
JJ, don't body shame me, okay?
You said it.
Don't body shame me. No, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, I went to the fair, and I had got on this ride, and I was like, I don't know, this thing might not snap. In my defense, though, it was
Wait, the seatbelt?
Yes, but it was like a kiddie ride. So
I
it
just
was,
thought about that
it
Kevin
wasn't-
Hart where he'd be like, I didn't hear the click. The click.
bro, and so I sat down, and it's weird because it goes across your chest. So it came down and like snapped, but the one across the chest, and I was like, if it comes between me flying off this ride and me doing the walk of shame because I can't fit, I will gladly take the walk of shame. But it did it. It did it, okay. And that was the only ride I got on. And
I'm glad you're still here.
I'm glad I'm still here too. I'm glad it stayed buckled.
I'd be nervous to ride rides at the fair.
Why?
Because they're not year round. So I feel like I'm more comfortable with someplace like Six Flags.
Right.
Because they're always doing rides. But fairs and any type of Any type of fair
Girl,
like that.
you ain't got to put that screw in there. It don't even matter.
Yeah. They put them rides up so fast.
A portable death machine.
Yeah,
No,
man.
thank you.
I don't know if I trust it like that.
No, y'all, it is kind of scary, and that was kind of one of the things. Did y'all hear about at 6? You know what? Let's not go down that route.
Let's not do that.
Let's not do that. Scary.
Did you eat anything good at the fair, bro? Or
I
could,
did.
could you eat anything at the
I
fair?
did, bro. So let me tell y'all, the fair actually has vegan options now. So before I went, much like anywhere else I go, I always like search vegan options. They got vegan corn dogs now.
Hey.
I had a deep fried PB&J.
I bet that corn dog went crazy.
That corn dog was good, bro. I hadn't had a corn dog in forever because I can't eat. I usually they're not vegan.
Technically, you still haven't had one.
What are you talking about?
It's not a real corn dog.
You got the fake,
It is a corn
the
dog,
fake corn dog.
bro.
How can you
Y'all
have a corn dog without meat?
stop the cap. It had
Where the dog at?
It had a veggie dog.
Yeah, you had a veggie dog.
Yes, it was a veggie corn dog. Man, I ate.
It's okay.
Gosh dang, go to JJ.
What's
Y'all
with
get
you,
on my
JJ?
nerves.
It's still good, bro.
No, forget it. I didn't eat. I didn't eat at the fair.
Don't let me rain on your parade.
No, it's already rained. Rain down
On me.
Go, JJ. What you been up to? Whatever.
Well, whatever. I think it's interesting how last episode you was asking me when do you ever have to get on a ladder? That don't rarely ever happen.
God, don't send you no
Spider-Man.
And this week, you know, my sister. Shout out to my sister. She recently got a house.
And
Bossed up.
Boss up. What? How old is your sister?
27.
I need to get my life together.
Yeah. She's
Oh,
27.
she's a boss.
Yeah. She's
27 got her own house.
Mm-hmm. And so she's in the process of painting her house, which requires me to get on a ladder. But luckily, the ceilings ain't too tall, man. So I spent a couple of days this week helping her.
Oh, that's
with the
dope.
paint. Yeah, painting the house, which was cool. She got a really dope house. Super proud of her. Inspires me to want to get a house. You know, I think I'm ready to get a house.
That's what's up.
Be like Coop over here, homeowner.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You could be her roommate.
Nah.
Maybe she'll let you stay there for
You know, we spent a lot of our life together.
I feel you.
He's basically saying that your sister is like that chick and you're just you.
Hey, man. I ain't gonna knock it. She doing her thing.
Shout out to Lil Sis.
It's not a competition.
Let you tell it. Let you tell it.
Yeah, so shout out to her. And then other than that, man, I've been chilling. You know, work has been good, and I also went on another hike today.
Okay.
Went with some men in my church, and it was cold this morning.
Oh yeah, bro, we're officially in fall.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
It
We're
was
officially
like
fall.
in
It's
the
the-
40s, bro.
It's the best time of the year because you get the hoodie short combo.
Right. Because it's like 40 in the mornings. The afternoons are like 70, 75. Then the nights go back down to like 50.
Yeah, when that sun come out, it'd be perfect.
Right.
Oh,
70 degrees. So yeah, that's what's up. That's what's been up with me.
So last episode we have appreciate y'all for sharing y'all's what's going on. Last episode we had the ladies of On Notice here. We had Sai, we had Drew.
Great
And
episode.
great episode. Like
Shout out to them for coming through.
shout out to them for coming through. It's always good to like have some other inputs other than ours, right? And so we had them come on the episode, and then we asked them the infamous question. Because one of the topics that we talked about was, would you post bae or not post bae on your social media account? Now, let me just tell y'all this. If y'all follow us on IG and you saw the
was a
post,
stirring.
it was a stir. Look, the pot was stirred, boy, and almost overboiled. It boiled over. But we thank you guys for commenting. And so we are implementing this new segment that we want to implement every episode called Sound Off. It's where you vocally respond to the question of the week. And so this week we are talking to our girl Kalandra. We talking to the homie Ali. And then we got our boy Nick. Oh, Nick.
Nick.
Oh, Nicholas. So let's jump into what the ladies had to say, and then we're going to swing on over to our boy Nick.
When it comes to the topic of dating your wage, I don't think it's an issue if a man makes less than me. I would simply require that this man has a job and be able to support himself without asking me for any assistance. If you cannot support yourself, then you should not be dating. You have other things to worry about.
So JJ, you're good, bro.
Right. Kalandra basically said, don't ask me for nada. Nunca. Never.
Come to the table
She
with something.
said, she said, you should be able to support yourself and don't ask me for nothing. But baby,
And I agree 100%.
I agree 100%.
And I think that's what a lot of men think, that just because your wife or your partner makes more than you doesn't necessarily mean that they have to take care of you.
Right. I agree. She's saying, come whole.
Yeah.
With money in your pocket.
Yes.
To the relationship. Let's
If
throw
you're
it up.
not, then level up.
Then level up.
Yes.
What Ali had to say.
There is so much I could say, but instead I'm just going to drop this little gem.
Drop it.
People need to stop being affirmed by their work. It does not define your worth. Your spouse is supposed to be your biggest cheerleader, not your secret competitor.
So Ali basically said, y'all broke boys compete where y'all don't apply.
Yeah.
Ali, thank you or whatever.
A queen.
Ali, no, thank you so much for that. I agree with that. I think people are secretly in competition with their spouse.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't even realize that. So I think Ali brings forth a valid point. But here's the moment you've all been waiting for. The man of the hour. You saw him in our IG comments. And we had to get him to say this on camera. All right, on the podcast. Let's throw it over to Nick. Nick, what do you have to say? He's shaking the table.
Yo, what's up, soundboard? It's your boy, Nick, aka the ruler of rhetoric, aka the social assassin, aka Blue Eyes White Dragon, ready to sound off. So I stirred the pot in your comments. So I really wanted to clarify, inquire, and even double down on some of the things that I said. I've seen many listeners state that they want to wait until marriage to post or be posted about. To me, this makes it seem like marriage is the sole form of commitment to these individuals. I'm interpreting this as you haven't committed to me until we have rings on our fingers, so you don't get to share me with the world. This begs so many questions about commitment, marriage, and differences between the two in the black and the white community. I don't think anyone is a proponent of posting a picture of you and someone you are on a first date with, but to think that marriage is the only time a relationship is defined as stable, healthy, and secure seems extreme to me. Now, if you want to state that you want to try and save time and heartache in case the relationship implodes down the road, I totally understand that. But for argument's sake, I bet these people post pictures of their friends, and we know friendships don't last forever either. But the main qualm I had with the conversation was that there seems to be a belief that social media is the reason for the downfall of some relationships instead of a symptom of a larger issue, or that it invites others to speculate on your life. There's just so many larger issues at play here, which can be exacerbated by social media, but not solved by the avoidance of it.
That's good. That's good. So that's what Nick had to say. He said social media is not the downfall. There are other things at play. And I agree with that.
I agree also.
I agree with that. Now, if you saw Nick, we were laughing because Nick is the person that was commenting. He was commenting.
He terrorized our comment section.
He was coming for everybody.
He had it in
JJ
the
is
uproar.
Spider-Man and Nick is the White Goblin.
He had our comment section in an uproar. Now, this is the thing. And I think we have to take this into consideration. When we post these questions, especially this question in particular, it was a matter of preference.
Right.
Not a matter of right or wrong.
Right.
And oftentimes when we post questions, it's not right or wrong. It's a matter of preference. It's how do you feel about this? So I agree with Nick. Now, let me tell you something, Nick. Now, Nick, now I like you, but we just have to choose our words carefully. So I was laughing because Nick wrote a whatchamacallit, and I felt attacked. So I felt like we need to
Nick
get on
wrote
here.
a dissertation.
He wrote a dissertation. I felt like I needed to come out here and speak on it because Nick said to put the host on the spot, it's puzzling.
That puzzle, like puzzles, you got to put them together.
Put them together.
So sometimes it's hard to put together.
He put. It's puzzling that posting a picture of someone you adore is too penetrating, but talking about what's going on in your life on the podcast, which many strangers listen to, that you ask them to interact with, is not. In summation, if you are,
that means that he's summing up.
right. If you are happy in your
Cooper
relationship, he is. If you're happy in your relationship and both of you are confident in your security, then you will post your significant other. Okay. Now, I felt attacked by this statement. All right, Nick. I like Nick. Okay, let me be clear. I like Nick. But I think Nick was arguing from a perspective of this is a right or wrong thing. And like I
Right.
said earlier, it's not right or wrong. And nobody is saying that you can't post your significant other on social media. People were just saying, I won't do it
Right.
because of this. Let's also keep in mind that people have different experiences.
Yes.
People have different experiences. And so your preference is usually going to be formed by your experience.
Right.
So, Nick, thank you. But let me tell you, we ain't gonna have too many more. It's puzzling and in summations. We ain't gonna have too many more of that. Coop, JJ, how did y'all feel?
So here's the thing. Me and Nick are really good friends, and we're very similar in this way. Like if somebody can, even last podcast, I said, "What if your feelings are wrong?"
Right.
And then I had to be checked, and she said,
Yeah.
"Somebody's feelings can't be wrong."
Right. They're valid.
Like all emotions are valid.
All emotions are valid, even if how you describe why you feel that way is. I'm just keep getting in trouble. Even if you describe why you feel that way doesn't make sense to me,
Right.
It doesn't change the fact that you feel that way.
Yes. Yes.
So you might not be able to express why, or you might not even know why you feel that way, but you know that you feel that way.
Right.
And it's not for me to change your feelings.
Right.
Basically.
Right. It's kind of like agree to disagree. Right.
Right, agree to disagree. And like you said, there's no right or wrong in this situation.
It's just
like,
preference.
I don't mind if somebody posts me, or I do, and here's why.
Right.
Yeah, because it could be a lot of things that might have shaped your perspective on why you feel the way that you feel.
Right.
Like whatever experience has happened to you, or whatever belief or thoughts you
Right.
have adopted about it, shape that specific preference.
Right.
So I get that. I think it's a matter of preference. Like, to what y'all say, we're not really arguing right or wrong. We're just talking about whatever our preference is.
Right.
I think that when it comes to social media, people use social media in so many different facets. So
Right.
it doesn't, you can use social media and post somebody or not post somebody doesn't necessarily mean that you're happy or not happy.
Right.
It's just, this is the area of my life that I choose to post, or this is the area of my life that I choose not to post.
Right.
And there can be many reasons why.
Right.
It could be a matter of experience, or it could just be like, I don't really care for social media like that.
Right.
And I think that people sometimes can maybe get caught up in in like, if you post something or you do something on social media, it applies across the board.
Right.
But you can compartmentalize the
Right.
way how you use social media or how you don't. It's, at the end of the day, it's just social media.
Yep. It's your
Everybody's
preference.
different. Yeah, it's just a preference.
It's your preference. So let's put a nail in the coffin. Do you stand by what you said? How do you feel about posting on social media?
Yeah, I stand by what I said.
And you're saying what?
I'm saying that I personally don't feel like it's a big deal, and I don't care if, like Nick said, if people are having conversations behind my back, people are gonna have these conversations regardless. If I post, if I don't post, people are gonna have conversations. Like, conversations are gonna be had about you, if people want to talk about you,
right,
regardless of what you do,
right.
So I don't like the fact that I don't want somebody else to dictate what I do,
your actions, right?
So I don't want to be like, oh, they're gonna talk about me if we break up, so I don't want to post, even if I want to post. If I want to post my girlfriend, my wife, whoever, I only have a wife.
I was about to say. Clarity.
If I want to post both of them,
If I want to post both of them, that's my right. I have a right to do that.
I'm gonna post my wife on Wednesday, and I'm gonna throw it back on Thursday. And I don't care who has to say what about what.
Fight me.
But yeah, if I want to post, if this person makes me happy, and I'm like, you know what, I think this is a good picture of us. I want to post this on social media. I'm gonna post it, even if I'm like, we might break up. It doesn't matter because this is what I want to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do, basically.
Right.
And nobody gets to dictate what I want to do.
Right. JJ, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like social media is social media, so I don't think that anybody should dictate how you use social media. But how you use it is a matter of preference.
Right.
You can choose whether to post your significant other or not. So if you want to remain private, and that's just a part of your life that you want to remain private, that is irrelevant of whether or not you post or not on social media, or whether or not you're in a happy relationship or you're in a committed relationship. It's just a matter of, this is just an area I have chose not to. If at any point I choose to, I choose to.
Right.
It's just something I choose to post or not post, but social media is not the determinant of whether or not I'm posting or not. It may be a matter of like a conversation that me and my significant other have had. And it may be something we've come to a conclusion about, like, hey, this is just an area that we just want to remain private. It doesn't say anything about our relationship itself. It's just something we've decided to do. And at any point we say, hey, yeah, let's just post. It's just a matter of autonomy. Like, you can do that or you cannot do that.
Right. I agree. I stand by what I said. I do think that it opens your relationship up and people to have opinions. And let's be clear, you don't have to listen to the opinions. But all I was saying was, I know a lot of people who post and are unhappy. And I know a lot of people who don't ever post and are extremely happy. So you just pick your poison. It comes down to a matter of preference. So in summation... Y'all do what y'all want to do, okay? Do what y'all want to do. Yeah, no, but you know what?
Couldn't wait. He couldn't wait. You added that to the vocab, didn't you?
No, yeah, I'm using it. Nick is the boy now. That's the homie now. I just want to remind my guy, when we talked about when we unlearned it, Nick said, I need to unlearn that every conversation is not a debate. Nick, you failed that test. He said, not everybody is fueled by competition. Some people are drained by it. I just thought that was funny because we are all learning, we are all growing, and at the end of the day, it was a matter of preference. So, guys,
I know we being funny, but I do want to shout Nick out for being, he's very eloquent with words.
He was.
Oh, yeah.
What did he say? He's the rhetoric,
the assassin. What is that?
He said the rhetoric.
The social assassin?
He said social assassin.
Something rhetoric, but
yeah. Because that's the thing. You know what's so funny about this? And we were laughing because you just have people that can take things one or two ways. And I'm one of the people that we in an argument, you start using big words. I feel like it's unnecessary. I feel attacked. And I will attack you.
it's puzzling how
I will take you, but now Nick is cool. I actually met Nick at your birthday party.
Oh yeah,
I met him when he came
Super
down
cool
here.
Guy.
But
he is
cool
the
guy.
villain of the show now.
So if y'all see Nick in our comments, just be like, that's Nick. So guys, appreciate y'all for tapping in. The goal is to do this every episode, right? Like to talk about a topic and then get your opinion on it. So what we're going to be doing is, if there's a topic that you want to sound off about, hit us in a DM with a voice note. Let us know your name and how you feel about it. Keep it like 30 seconds though. All right, because some of y'all be going overboard. OD.
Yeah.
Keep it 30
feel free
seconds.
to introduce yourself too.
Right. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, drop your name and then how you feel about whatever
whatever topic that we talked about. Now let's jump into this week's episode.
Yes.
And so I hit up. So bro, what I've been realizing is sometimes you will just find yourself in like these just moments. Have you ever just found yourself in a moment where y'all just like feel heavy, like you feel weighed down?
Yes.
Like you just feel like life is just on you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been feeling like that a lot lately. So when Olivia and I were at the fair, we ran into my boy Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and Aaron, we talking, we exchanging dialogue, we go to church together, we've served together. He's a great guy. And so we saw him and his beautiful wife, his little son. And when he walked away, Olivia said, "Yo, you need to spend more time with Aaron." The first thing I was like, what you trying to say?
You need to be more like him?
but we were talking about just
Did she
surrounding.
ever say that about me and Coop?
Not really. But we were talking about surrounding yourself with people that like are just wise people that you could be around.
Right.
And so
Like me and JJ.
Yeah.
some
I
would
would
say.
agree.
Some would say. And so today I was just thinking, I was thinking about people and I was like, you know what? I've been stressed a lot lately. You know who I ain't never really just seen stressing like that? My boy Aaron. We call him Aaron. His name's Aaron. But I was like, my boy Aaron. We ain't never just seen him stressed like that. So I said, I'm finna call him and just ask him, what's the secret?
Uh-huh.
And so I called him. I'm like, hey, bro, this is random, but like, I ain't never just seen you sweat, bro. And he was like, literally? I'm like, figuratively. I'm like, no, fool, figuratively. I ain't never seen you just like stressing about something. And he was like, honestly, bro, like, I don't really know what it is. But as we were talking, it was just some things that he said, and I put it together. And I was like, bro, at the end of our conversation, I was like, bro, here are the 3 things that you do that make sure that you don't stress. And I want to share that with y'all, that if you walking around feeling heavy, real heavy, my chain heavy. And I was like, I feel like I can't say heavy without thinking about Gucci Mane, but you know. So if you're walking around feeling heavy and you trying to get light, you know what I'm saying? You trying to get light, get some of that weight up off you.
Take a load off.
Take a load off. I think these 3 things will help you. All right, so number 1, you have to make a decision to choose yourself.
So what do you mean by that?
And so what he said was, when he approaches either an opportunity to argue or a something that's stressful, what he does is he prioritizes his mental and physical health. And so sometimes that means not getting in an argument with something because you value your mental health more.
Oh, yeah.
It's
definitely.
like, oh, yo, that ain't worth my time. That ain't worth my energy.
Definitely.
And so number 1, make a decision to choose yourself. The second thing, he said, people gonna be people. People gonna be people, and they gonna do what they want to do anyway. And it's funny because he was talking about his kids. He has 2 older daughters and a younger son, and he was like, "Look, bro, at the end of the day, once they leave this house, all I can do is just hope for the best."
You can't maintain control.
He was
all
like,
the
you
time.
can't maintain control. People gonna do what they want to do. And the third thing he said was, you have to acknowledge inconveniences, but don't live there.
That's a good one.
Bro, my mind was blown.
That's a good one.
Because a lot of the times, like he was talking about how he had been inconvenienced with something. He was like, but you know, it is what it is. He was like, it's just this weekend.
Yeah.
But I said, bro, you know what's so crazy about that? Stuff like that'll happen, and I'll be like, but it's this weekend.
Right.
It's this weekend.
So
I
you're
had all
stuck.
this
You're
other
living
stuff.
on that.
I live there.
You're stuck
bro.
on there.
I'm stuck on there, and I'll go do the thing and still be stuck there, bro.
Yeah.
And so I say this is Aaron's list to maintaining a stress-free life. Choose yourself. So make a decision. At the end of the day, no people gon' people. And the last thing, acknowledge inconveniences, but don't live there. What y'all think about that?
Those are 3 really good points.
Those are
3
great.
great points.
3 great points. I feel like we could unpack those a little bit. So like, the first point, I feel like you said was choosing yourself. How often do y'all choose yourself?
Coop chooses himself all the
I
time.
would say a lot. I think that how do I say this?
Without have y'all realized if you ever listen to our episode, Coop always be like, how do I say this?
I have a
Coop, like,
self-filtered
why-
process.
Why would I not choose myself?
I want to know what the initial thought is before it gets to us. So before it gets to Coop mouth, I feel like it goes through a whole filtration process.
I just feel like there's situations where people are gonna want you, and I'm trying to stay off relationships because we have relationship episodes.
Another one.
I know. People are gonna want you to do things for them that you don't necessarily want to do.
Right.
And those things start to wear you down. So when there's a time where something's really needed, you might not be at full strength to perform whatever the
Right.
task is.
That's a good
Right.
point.
So I think that's why it's important to choose yourself most of the time, but when it's necessary, you're able to perform for somebody
And
else.
do for others.
Yes.
That's good. What about you, JJ?
I think he makes a good point that you need to prioritize yourself. If you want to be able to help other people, then you have to be the best version of yourself. In order to do that, you got to choose yourself. So I think when you're making decisions,
He just summed that up so good.
He did. He did.
I think that when you're making decisions, though, there has to be a level of discernment. So some of the decisions that you make, if you're not choosing yourself and you're like doing for other people and you're starting to get stretched thin,
Right.
and then I think you got to think about when you're making these decisions to help other people, whatever task is required of you, is it compromising your mental or physical health, right? Like, because you can still do things that's not necessarily compromising your physical
Right.
or mental health, and that's cool. But once you stretch your capacity, then now you're compromising yourself in that. And so I think that's something to be aware of. I know for me, typically I walk around really light, right? I feel like I'm pretty stress free,
Right.
for the most part. But I told y'all like a couple episodes ago, I was feeling stressed.
Right.
I was walking around feeling heavy, and I really was thinking about why am I heavy in this, and I think it's because I was over capacity, right? Like I was just doing a lot in a lot of different areas and not necessarily pouring into myself. So I was neglecting choosing myself. I was choosing out everybody else, not prioritizing my mental or physical health. And as a result, I started to become empty and not necessarily have anything to pour.
Right.
That's real.
No, that's good. So it made me think about at work, bro. Because one thing about me at work, I'm a keyboard clapper.
Right. What you mean?
Never heard that.
I'm clackety, clackety, clack. I'm on your head, boy. I'm on your head top. For further notice.
Dante do be emailing per my last email.
But y'all know
In
what
summation.
y'all know what I realized, bro? I was at work. And I have a job where I can only do my job if everybody else do their job. And so I found myself being like
Are
extremely
you important?
Nah, bro.
You see how you
He
try to
being
downplay
humble.
that?
Nah, bro. Chill out.
Humble man.
Chill out. But I find myself oftentimes like frustrated and upset because I'm like, why y'all just can't do y'all job? You know what I'm saying? Or why y'all can't get it to me when y'all need to get it to me? And so when Aaron said that, it made me realize like, look, bro, at the end of the day, I'm over here choosing. I can only control what I can control.
Right.
Right. And a lot of times I'm trying to control all these other things. So I'm over here sending these emails, calling people phones and all this. But at the end of the day, they going to still do what they want to do.
Right.
Either they going to turn it in or they not going to turn it in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so this made me think of, in the future, I'm going to still send my emails, but I'm going to send less of.
Yeah.
And I'm going to prioritize choosing my mental health. I'm going
Right.
to just charge it to the game.
Right.
A lot of times, I also think I take things personally. So I'll be like, okay, y'all ain't turned in because y'all don't respect me.
Right.
And that ain't necessarily always the case. Sometimes it just is what it is. So that's what it made me think about.
Another thing, and Pastor Rob just preached about this, is
on.
if you constantly choose others, that builds resentment within you towards others. So I think that's another reason why you want to choose yourself.
Yeah. Because it's so crazy when I was talking to Aaron, he was like, I guess I need to quit doing that because it seems selfish. And I said, nah, bro. I said, you're able to do the things, you're able to be the husband and the father and the leader that you can be because you choose yourself. Whereas other people don't choose themselves and they're not fully acting and doing what they could do.
Oh yeah.
And then it builds resentment.
And then it builds resentment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was talking about Pastor Rob. Pastor Rob said the order in which most people operate is that they choose others and then they choose themselves.
Right.
But the order should be, well, first you should choose God,
Right.
and then you should choose yourself, and then you should choose others.
Yes.
Wow, I ain't never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
I'm straight choosing myself forever.
You can check out that on Freedom Facebook page.
Yeah.
Good message.
No, that's good. I'm gonna tap into that. So the next thing, people gone people, bro. I think that's a whole word in itself.
Oh yeah.
People trash. Let them be trash. But it's not even necessarily about the people gonna people, because you know people do. You got a shady friend. Your friend always been shady. You know they shady.
Oh, yeah,
It's when you expect something from people that they're not gonna be able to give you,
Right.
or you expect them to be better and they're not going to be better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you say people gonna people, that's kind of loaded. It's kind of a loaded slogan, because at the end of the day, people gonna be people.
Yep. And that works in a good and a bad way.
How so?
So people doesn't have to be negative. So it's like if they're a good person,
Right.
you can rely on them to be, that good person in your life. But if they're unreliable, you can rely on them to be.
Don't call
unreliable.
them.
Yes, exactly.
Don't call them
Exactly.
when something important is coming up.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think about that as far as like know your lane and stay in your lane.
Mm-hmm.
So people gonna be people mean that you can't necessarily live somebody else's life for them.
Oh,
And I think
okay.
a lot of people
Yeah.
try to live other people's lives.
Right,
Like you try
right.
to change the other person to
Right.
do what you would do. They're not you. They're gonna do things different.
Yeah.
So and I feel like that a lot of times comes to advice. Like if you're trying to give advice or you have a recommendation or a suggestion on how people should live their life, like especially when you can see when people are not living or behaving in a way that they should, and you be like, man, I know what's good for them, but they don't know what's good for them. I need them to see what's good for them.
Right.
And you want them to like switch up what they're doing. You can't. They have to do that on their own. Like you can't do that for them sometimes.
And a lot of things like what you just said is we think I know what's good for
I
them.
know what's good for you more than you know what's good for you.
But people have their own process. So I think a lot of times we think that we know what we would do. I don't know if I'm just saying the same
Yeah.
thing you said. We know what we would do, but their process might be different and they might be looking for a different outcome. A lot of times we know what people should be doing to get to where we want them to be.
Right.
We know what they should be doing. But they might be going for something different, so they
Right.
have to go through their own process.
Coop just said a whole word, bro. Like, I think essentially what we're trying to do is have them reach the outcome without going through the process.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, why you may be able to give that advice is because you went through a process.
Yes.
But they're not going to understand the value of it or the importance of it if they don't go through the process.
That's why you got to just let people suffer sometimes. And it's hard to. Well,
It is hard to do though.
nah, you know what I'm saying? You know how like, okay, y'all got a baby.
No, you're
At some
right.
point, y'all gonna have to just let her cry.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of picking her up.
Oh, yeah.
Because eventually she's gonna have to learn, like, every time I'm crying, every time I want to be picked up, ain't gonna always be
Right.
like I'm gonna be able to be picked up. And I said that we laugh about it, but like sometimes you gotta let people struggle. Like
yeah.
if somebody always coming to you to borrow money, eventually you're gonna have to tell them the bank is closed and let them get evicted. Because they need to learn that they need to either learn to be a better steward of their money, or just learn how to get it on their own.
Yeah.
That's very good.
That's the process.
I was listening to something earlier in the week, and they were saying that growth and development are going to require uncomfortable emotions.
Right.
Ooh, yes.
So
I hate it.
You know, if you,
I run from growth.
I run to it, but when I get there, I'll be scared.
Don't touch me. Right. Nah, that's real. That's real. I run towards the beginning. I'm a scaredy cat. Meow. No, that's good. And so the last thing, acknowledge inconveniences, but don't stay there.
I think that's the biggest one. Well, I feel like people get stuck in their struggle, or like even if it's a small struggle, they
Right.
get stuck on. But this happened,
Right.
So I can't. But I think just being able to move beyond that, or deal with it, and then move beyond it, is very important.
Do y'all think that? Would you agree, JJ?
absolutely. I think it's a matter of mindset. Like if you're stuck in a place, it's just a matter of how you view yourself in that particular situation. Just reframe it and switch it from negative to positive. Essentially, because you're saying like, oh, and inconvenience, you can look at it from the lens of, this happened to me,
Right.
and like, woe is me. Now
Right.
this affects everything about me. Or you could switch it and say, yeah, this happened, but I'm going to respond this particular way.
Yep.
Right.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
good.
Just switch it, reframe it to a positive.
Yeah,
That's good. I want to apologize to all my friends in this season because I've been super woe is me. Like, I ain't even, like, no cap. I've been a woe is me.
No, can't
like a
do
womp
that.
womp.
Can't
Like,
do that, bro.
I've been a woe is me in this season. And so I think it's good. But some would argue that you have to, like, stay there for a little bit.
But I think
someone-
that's the whole point of acknowledging it.
Yeah. So you acknowledge it and then you move past it.
okay, let me give y'all an
So I
example.
guess there's a threshold.
There's a threshold because I was talking to my homeboy. I was talking to my little mentee, and he just had all this stuff going on. And I think I may have shared this story with y'all on the pod, but he was late for work one day, and he was late. All these things that happened, and I was like, "All right, bro, like you were late." You there now? Like it's a new day. Let's jump back into it. And he was like, "Dang, bro, can I feel it for a little bit?" And I was like, "Yeah, but like you can't stay there too long." So my thing is, how do you know if you stayed there too long? Yeah,
I would think that if it's starting to affect you long term, like if that day affected the next day,
okay, then that's too long. of
it's too
course.
much.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's over. If it's something big that affects a long term, then I can understand a little bit. You get more time. But if it's something small that doesn't affect you long term, I don't think it should take a long time to get past it.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah, I think you know by your actions. Like, so if you're sitting in the moment, you're essentially processing those emotions. Whenever those emotions turn into actions, that's probably when you know you stayed there too long. So if you are ruminating over something that happened in the past, it's very hard to move forward. How
Right.
can you move forward if
Almost
you're
impossible.
focused on the past? So if you're, let's just say for that example, if you're a woe is me and you're constantly thinking like, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me, and now it's affecting your actions, like you're showing up to work and you are not giving it your all, you're not giving it your effort, these things, you know you've stayed there too long.
Yeah, that was good. So me and Key were talking about our love language or whatever, right?
So I can't remember all the love languages.
Physical touch, acts of service, words of affirmation,
Words of affirmation.
Gifts.
That's the one.
And quality time.
and quality time.
So Key was like, "You're definitely words of affirmation. Like, you always want me to tell you when you do good." And I was like, "Yeah, because you always tell me when I do bad."
Your words of non-affirmation.
Right.
Bro, women were always. This is like the women bash pod.
Okay, hold on.
I'm so
The
sorry.
women just left.
Right.
Look, Drew inside just up the street. The door just shut.
We love all women.
We
Yes,
love all
love
women.
you.
Let me just vent. Let me tell you how I feel.
Yeah,
Are my
talk to
feelings
us.
accurate or real or not?
They are.
All emotions are valid.
And we may not agree, but they are.
Women always tell you what you did wrong. Like, they're very quick to tell you when you do wrong, but it takes a lot to get praised for when you're doing something right. And so that's the reason why I feel like she would think that words of affirmation is my love language.
Right.
When my real love language is presents.
Presents like gifts.
Gifts.
Blow me out, baby. So you know
I don't think that's the case most of the time.
What do you mean?
And maybe that just depends on how long you've been in the relationship.
Okay, maybe my
Because-
woman. I'm general.
Yeah, because look, the other women like, don't put that on me. I affirm.
Because I feel like a lot of women will affirm in relationships and they'll speak praises. Sometimes that can become overlooked maybe on the longevity of the relationship.
I
So it's
think
like
that's
you
probably
become
it.
comfortable because you've been in the relationship so long. You've done well in these areas. I'm not necessarily affirming you in these areas anymore. I'm pointing out the areas that you're
Right.
I think that's easy to do once you spend more time with people. Like you just
Yes.
become comfortable with like who they are.
Because I guess you set a standard, and then if you keep meeting the standard, it's not
Like,
anything.
yeah, why would I continue to praise you? It just means women got to continue to praise.
But you don't have to.
Okay. Don't give up.
Baby, keep affirming.
Keep it up. Keep that same energy.
Because you know what, it's so funny. So Olivia and I were talking about this, and you have to be super intentional, right? Because it's really easy to, like, if we're talking about the love languages, it's really easy to love people how you interpret their love language to be and not what their actual love language is.
Yes.
And so you over here dating somebody and their love language is words of affirmation, but all you buy is gifts. And she like, this cool, but like,
That's
affirm
key.
me.
Oh my gosh. I like to give her gifts, but she wants my time.
But you're,
It was the eye roll for me.
but you just said like you would much rather have presence. So you're loving Key how you want to be loved.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. That's the problem with all y'all, if we being honest. You know, I always turn the corner. I always turn the corner and start talking at people. Yeah. That's the problem with all y'all, if we want to be honest. You over here loving people how you want to be loved,
Yeah.
and that's not their love language.
You're right.
And I would say that that's probably why most relationships don't work, both platonic and romantic. Because if we're talking about relationships, if somebody doesn't so you know what? So Olivia and I do this in therapy. You have to come up with like a kind of like a thing that you're gonna
How
do.
often do y'all go to therapy?
Bro, we go twice a month. So we have to come up with a pledge. We have to come up with a pledge, and that pledge has to be. The goal of the pledge is you're supposed to do the pledge. It's supposed to be something that your significant other would kind of praise you for or be excited to
Wait,
receive.
say okay. Say it
So
again.
every
do you do
week,
the pledge at the beginning of the session.
no. So after the session, you're
It's like
supposed
when you were in school, you have the Pledge of Allegiance.
to shut up. I'm trying to be serious.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So you got to come up with a pledge after the session. You come up with a pledge, and you're saying, "I pledge to do X, Y, and Z for you." You know, for this next week or
Like,
whatever.
it's my duty to please that booty.
It's my duty to please.
Oh
that
my
booty.
gosh, bro! So look, so one of my
duty to please that booty.
children, settle down. So one of the issues that we had in the beginning was
You ain't pleasing the booty. All right, I'm done.
whenever y'all are done. So look, man. So the goal of it is you're supposed to create a pledge, and it's supposed to be a pledge that you can keep track of, and that your significant other would love to receive. And the issue that we had in the beginning was I was creating pledges,
Allegiance to that booty.
and people said they like you because you the serious one. Whole liars. Your mom listens to this podcast. But you're supposed to be coming up with a pledge that your significant other would love. And in the beginning, I struggled with it because I was coming up with pledges that I thought Olivia would love, and they weren't pledges that she actually loved. And so I would be like, "Well, I did this for you. Like you should be like giving it up for me." And she like clapping it up, giving me whatever. And she would be like, "No." Like
She don't care about that.
like you picked that pledge and you thought it was, but that ain't what I want.
Oh my gosh, I hate that. Just take what I give you.
No, Coop, that's one-sided.
I know.
That's one-sided.
jokes.
It's not
Like,
about what you want.
So
It's about what the significant
Key's
other wants.
things are literally hers is act of what's the act?
Acts of service. So she likes when you do things
that
for her.
makes
Oh,
sense.
Oh
she's
my
losing in that
gosh.
category because Coop
Oh
don't be
my
doing that. Y'all remember telling me he left that chicken in the
In the
he left that chicken in the sink.
That makes so much sense.
That makes some. That's why I keep being pissed off at you all the
Every
time.
it's never enough.
So hers are acts of service and what else?
In spending time with you.
Oh, like quality time.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what yours are? Gifts. You said gifts.
It's probably gifts and words of affirmation. I was just joking.
He didn't want to admit it.
He don't want to admit it. You like to be affirmed.
I'm like, you think you know me because you're my wife? Like,
So one of mine is words of affirmation. Is one of yours words of affirmation?
Yeah, I think majority of men is
Right.
words of affirmation.
We just wanna
why?
know.
Where does that come from? Why do we need to know?
I think, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hard out here. It's hard out here for a pill. Like it's hard, ladies. Turn your ears in, okay? It's hard for men, bro. You got to get up, like
Think about it too, though. Men are solution oriented,
Right.
so we are typically trying to achieve and accomplish things, right? In a general sense. So we want to know we doing a good job.
right,
Like
right,
affirm me. Let me know, like, hey, the work that I'm doing, what I'm putting in, I am
It's-
doing a good job at it.
Right.
Like, it
Right.
means something to me.
right. Now let me go back to my point. JJ just cut me off, bro. JJ, if you don't respect me, just say that.
I don't respect you.
Okay. So I think as men, bro, it's hard being a man. Like,
Right.
it's hard. You got to get up every day. People are counting on you. You know, let alone if you have a wife, if you have kids, you got to go to this job. Your coworkers getting on your nerves. You got to come home. The last thing you want to hear about is what I did wrong.
Thank you.
Nah, Coop, in your
Thank you.
situation,
I'm so tired.
I be agreeing with Keith sometimes. Look, Keith, Coop and Keith be like, hey, Coop did this. I be like, child. He tried. But yeah, so I think a lot of men's would be words of affirmation just because, bro, like, you got to go out into the world, let alone the world telling you trash.
Right.
Your boss telling you
Oh
you
my
messed
gosh,
up.
yeah.
Like,
That's not my first one though.
what's your first one?
Like, it's high up there for me, but it's not my first one. My first one is acts of service.
Okay, see, like, people do things for you. So mine's words of affirmation and acts of service. But Olivia said, "I'll never let her do nothing for me."
That's because you have pride issues.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
There should be another one that's how you people. There should be one that shows you how you like to love people, and you should connect with somebody that likes to be loved.
So your ego can be stroked every time you do something right.
But the way I receive love is the way that I want to show love. Like,
So yours is your matches.
I typically show love in that way. Like, I'll do things for other people.
Yeah, but if
Right,
not
that's
that
the same
person-
thing I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I like to give gifts.
But if that's not what your,
Yeah.
if you know that your wife don't
She
like
needs
that,
to change hers.
how you gonna tell that woman she needs to change hers?
She got to do it.
How you gonna tell her she needs to change hers?
I really think there's 6.
What's the sixth one?
Because, to be honest, my number one love language is food.
That seems like a gift.
Idiot.
No, it's not a gift. It's a separate entity. I need the food. That's it.
That really is
Yeah.
JJ's love
Yeah,
language.
yeah.
Like, before we start
food
recording the
and acts
pod,
of service.
before we start recording the pod, he started getting an attitude because he was hangry.
I be hungry, bro.
He started getting an attitude because he was
It wasn't an attitude. I just could feel I was getting hungry. I need to eat again.
That's what I'm saying.
High metabolism.
Oh my gosh, you are so annoying. I want to know. Do you think everybody has done the whole knows what their love language is?
Probably, I would hope so. By now,
I want to know. So I want to know from our listeners. Do you know what your love language is? Like, what is your love language? Because and do people usually love you in that way? Yeah. So remember, there's 5, and even if you haven't read the book, you can kind of understand what they were, right? Gifts. You love when people give you gifts. That is a love language. Quality time. You love spending time with the people that matters most to you. Physical touch.
Ooh, I didn't know that was one.
Yes, bro.
I have to fulfill my duty.
So please, that
physical touch. Another one is acts of service, when somebody does something nice for you. And
I
then
feel like touch and acts of service can go together.
they can go hand in hand. That's the same thing with quality time.
can be a service.
I can give you this gift.
The service king.
and then what was the last one? Y'all done threw me off.
I don't know.
Quality time, acts of service.
Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation will be the last one. So once again, we want to know what is yours, and do people usually love you like that? Because I would argue that most people don't love people based on their love language.
It's because, bro, women, their number one is all 5.
They
want it
so
all.
true.
They
That is
all
so
5
true.
of
It's
them.
all or
Hey.
nothing. And if you miss one, you missed all of them.
They want it all.
If you miss one, you miss all of them. And so we're going to list them on the page, and we just want you to let us know what yours is, and do people usually love you like that? Or do yours make sense? Like, for me, one of mine is acts of service, but Olivia said I'll never let her do nothing for me.
Yeah.
So essentially that does not kind of, it's invalid.
Conflict.
Right, I'm in conflict. I said, I messed
But
with it.
when
I
she
said,
does things to you, for you, do you, to you,
Hello.
when she does things for you, does that make you feel good? Like, are you
I'm
feel
super appreciative. In
So
fact,
that makes sense then.
no, it does. Like,
Yeah.
I really, if Aaliyah does something for me, I'd be like, dang, babe, thank you so much. Because I'm used to doing stuff for everybody else.
Right.
But yeah, bro, we want to know what your acts of service is, and do people love you like that?
Yeah.
So guys, that's the episode. We came in.
What's
we-
the soundbite?
Oh yeah, the soundbite of the week. JJ gonna give us a soundbite of the week this week.
So the soundbite of the week is I was listening to a podcast that my friend sent me earlier this week, and it was a really good conversation. But a quote stuck out to me by this lady named Dr. Sasha Hines. And she said this quote that education is good,
Right.
application is better,
Yeah.
but transformation is best.
Say it again.
Come on. She said that education is good.
Wow.
Application is better.
What?
But transformation is best.
And we want what's best.
Yes. It made me think about how people sometimes say that knowledge is power.
Right.
But knowledge is just knowledge. Without knowledge, like you're not really doing nothing with it. Is it really powerful?
Right.
So like applied knowledge could be cool too.
Right.
But once you apply that knowledge, that's what brings on transformation. And transformation is what's best.
Yeah.
That's good.
So the goal is to actually change for
Right.
the better.
Right.
Because some of y'all be reading 50 books and still trash.
Just got knowledge.
Yeah.
What
you just
doing?
got knowledge that you
Now,
ain't
what's
even
that book
using.
that everybody reads? The Laws of Power.
Oh, Laws of Power. Think and Grow Rich. And some people still broke. Think and Grow Broke. Think and Grow Broke. Hey guys, man. Also, just want to shout out to the gang, Ron Tom. Hey guys, we set a goal to get 50 reviews, like written reviews on Apple Podcasts. We are now at 41. That means we are 9 away. If you are listening to this podcast right now and you have not left us a review on Apple Podcasts, please go do that, because by the time the next episode comes out, we want to be at 50. Do y'all hear me? We want to be at 50.
We can do it.
We can do it, guys, but we need your help. Also, man, we are weekly now. I'm going to be honest with y'all. My life ain't that intriguing. Coop on house arrest.
I'm on house arrest.
And JJ, all he do is hike and bike. So the point of the soundboard is coming to the table and talking about things and asking each other, hey, bro, am I tripping?
Right.
Or like, am I wrong?
Right.
And so if you have a situation where you want to know, are you tripping or are you wrong? Please hit us in the DMs at the Soundboard Podcast on IG, and we'll leave you anonymous if you want to be anonymous, or if you really about that action and you bold,
If you're about that life.
if you about that life, leave us a voice note.
Yes.
And we'll air it, and then we will respond to your question.
Yes.
Hey guys, don't forget, follow us on IG at the Soundboard Podcast. You can keep up with your boy Dante at Dante Speaks Life, DONTAE.
And you can find me on IG at thisiscoop_.
You can follow your boy JJ at _Jeremy J.
Hey man, that's the episode. We'll holler at y'all next one. We out.
Peace.